Hey guys, welcome back after the weekend. So today I'm going to come at you from Utah, Eden. And if you're aware where Utah is time zone wise, that's 2 hours before Eastern Standard Time. So today I got up at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to trade the pre-market session from 7 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And whew, that was pretty early. Plus, usually when I'm on Eastern Standard Time zone or anywhere else, I'll start an hour early before 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time just to kind of get in the right mindset, focus a little bit, check out which tickers are gapping. So this was just like, getting right into it right at 7 a.m., even though it's 5 a.m. local time. So that was a tough one today. And then on top of that, I had an issue where my keyboard stopped working and then my mouse stopped working. It was one of those kind of days to start. So what happened today, I'm up 293. So very small green day, smaller size, so it's fine. But I think the ticker that was moving right out of the gates was PFRX, and I'm only up $100 on this one. I was up much more on this one, but then I started giving back profits, unfortunately. And that was kind of because I missed the whole initial front side move, not because I wasn't really ready for it mentally, but physically I didn't have everything set up. At one point I started trading it with my laptop mouse pad and my laptop keyboard, which might sound normal to some people, but I have a pretty large setup here with an additional keyboard, additional mouse, and I'm usually further away from my laptop, so it's a whole different kind of setup. If you want to see my whole entire travel setup, here's a link. I'll just pin it somewhere here. So the point was, I was kind of squirming around a little bit to get into this ticker, and that kind of messed me up a little bit, and then I was chasing it, unfortunately. So with PRFX, this one was a little bit of a fumble. So let's just go ahead and start looking at what happened here on this one. It was a bit goofy. Let's scroll back here, and then on the daily you can kind of see it's a former spiker, but there's a lot of resistance on this one on the daily chart down here, with big time resistance around 3 and then 3.5. Both the levels we actually ended up breaking pre-market, so it was looking kind of good. So let me zoom into this one on the intraday a little bit more on the 1 minute, and let's scroll back here. So boom, 7 o'clock pops up and this thing spikes up here, and I'm like, wow, nice move. But guess what I'm doing? I'm just squirming. I'm trying to get my keyboard to work, and it's a little bit annoying. Has this pullback, and I'm not able to get fills here because I'm still squirming. Eventually, I'm like, screw it. Let me just use my laptop, and I'm moving around here with the trackpad, and my getting my hotkeys set up, and it was just like, traveling and trading is just, it stresses me out so much. But whatever, that was my first day, new location. Sometimes those things happen, even though the day before I got everything set up thinking, let's avoid that. So it still happened. Anywho, eventually we got a pullback here, and then I was trying to get aggressive on some continuation. We didn't really have good continuation. I was kind of scratching in this area a little bit, but overall I was green a little bit here. Eventually we get a pullback here, and for some reason I closed this one. I really don't even know why. This was a huge mistake here, that the fact that I closed this. It was for a little profit, but again, I missed the big move. And let's actually look at this on the 5 minute, because that's always really important. Because before I continue talking, there was a good comment here. Let me pull it up here. On one of my last day trading recap videos, I think it was a little further down. Yeah, here. Fayed says, try this strategy. Look at only the 30-minute candle chart. Pop his stop loss below the body of the last 30-minute candle, and then be a little bit more relaxed with your trading. And that's a great strategy, and it's really important to slow down here. And that's why I said I like the idea of slowing down my trading for sure. It's super, super important. And lately, last week specifically, and probably actually the weeks before that, I've been a little bit tunnel visioned. I've been too focused on the 1 minute, not focused enough on the 5 minute. And for me personally, the 30 minute is too slow. It's not my kind of style. It's not my trading strategy. But for me, for sure, if I'm waiting for those good 5 minute setups, that's where the money's at, and that makes a huge difference for me. And that's what I responded here in this comment. So let's go back here and think about where this ticker was on the 5 minute. So it was breaking. It was pulling back to about 3.2, and this was like at 9 or at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's right in this area. So pulling back to VWAP, which gives us a pretty good 5 minute setup, because we had a pullback here and we didn't break that last 5 minute candle. So let me zoom in a little bit more on this one. Hopefully that's better. So if we really broke this significantly, and we weren't really breaking that significantly, plus I was already buying on support. So I should be holding this one until we're really selling off here. And then even I could hold through that and wait for a little bit of a bounce, or just cut my losses right away. But either way, as this ticker is pulling back up, there's no reason for me to sell on a good 5-minute setup with potential continuation. So that was a huge mistake here on my end. That was probably the first big mistake, real mistake, besides obviously not having my setup working at this area. So whatever, I end up chasing a little bit, trying to buy these pullbacks, looking for continuation. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but when I realized this one was not anymore looking like it was on the front side, I cut my losses here really quickly, so I avoided this flush. But this red candle right here put me, unfortunately, erased pretty much all my profits from PFRX. And big reason for that is I didn't really have that many profits to begin with. I think I was up like $300, and then boom, I just erased like 200 of that in that red candle. So that it was a little unfortunate. We didn't get like a little bit bigger move, but I think on a ticker like this, it was already more than I could have asked for. This was already like a 60% move with big resistance at 4. But we were over that $3 big resistance zone, and we were over the 3.5 big resistance zone. So I was thinking maybe we're going to get continuation at this point. Maybe we're going to see big move over 4, and then in a way it's a little bit of a blue sky setup besides this huge spike day over here. But I had high hopes, and unfortunately it got crushed, and luckily I just walked away from it at that point. The next ticker that I think is worth talking about is ASTR. Obviously, ISPC was the big one that we were trading today, but let's go to ASTR because this was more or less a quick one. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, so we have a big breakout over the 180-day simple moving average. This is a nice front side move. It's still in an overall range between, like, I would say $16 and maybe somewhere between $10 and $8.50 or so, or $8. So it's definitely ranging in this area, but it is kind of on a short-term front side here over big resistance. So I really like what we were seeing on this one. On the 5-day, you can see though it had a big spike, and ever since it's been selling off. So eventually we're in this area on the 5-minute. And we're kind of finding some support here. You can see we had a big bounce, and we're having a little bit of a double bottom, and now we're breaking back above the 9 EMA. So I ended up taking this breakout trade with really small size, and eventually I sold on a pretty okay exit. I didn't hold all the way, but this was a fine trade. The problem was really small size, and percentage wise this was not really a big move. This was like a total move of 2%, so very small, and that's why I walked away with pretty much nothing on this one, just an overall scratch. CTRA, this is actually a red trade. It says I'm up $50 on it, but it's a little bit of a scratch. I did a small size on this one a few days ago because I was looking for a little bit of options practice on this one. Unfortunately, I never ended up doing options on this one. I switched my options strategy into my IRA, so I just kind of ended up closing this one out for, I don't know, it was a really small scratch. It was just a total scratch trade, not even really worth talking about because I'm not so focused on this one. Although I gotta say, on a daily, it looks really good. Has a nice little bull flag here, and making a little bit of a channel. Obviously this is really nasty drawing I did, but the point is, nice little flag setup with a good chance of continuation. And usually when you're selling covered calls, you want to have an uptrending ticker so you get those higher premiums. So that's why I picked CTRA, but I just kind of closed it out in this account because it wasn't super important. So actually what I should be doing is taking the CTRA, moving it to this category, and actually I'm only up 240 today. Sorry, I didn't really realize that CTRA was even in this till just now. And then ISPC came up. Now, ISPC was the big popper of the day. This was really where you could have made a lot of money on. I just somehow, again, fumbled like crazy. I kept on selling before the big spikes. I don't know what's been going on, but lately my day trading has been really bad, just like really embarrassing to even talk about. I've been trading like I just got started or something like that. So let's go to ISPC, and you guys can see where all my mistakes were. So 5 minutes set up here, nice first leg consolidation. Maybe we're going to get a secondary leg on this one. It's been a little bit flushy, but it's a blue sky setup once we broke around $10. So that was really the point where you want it to be focused on. And then I stopped trading this one around 10, something like somewhere in this area. So let's go actually to the daily and just look at this one last time here before we talk about the intraday. Industry, healthcare, market cap 68 million market cap, so really nice there. Shares 6.9 million shares outstanding, so perfect small cap, usually exactly what we're looking for. It's a COVID play, but it does have catalysts. COVID plays haven't been that great lately, but they are kind of picking up again, if you've noticed. But still, for me lately, my swing trades have just been doing so much better than my day trading lately. I don't know if the day trades, or if the price action is just a little bit weird. Maybe it is, but maybe it's just me that's trading not so good. But lately I feel like there's been a lot of consolidation and late day runners, and just I don't know, my swing swing trading has just been much better lately. And usually it's the opposite. Usually my day trading soars, and then my swing trades kind of simmer for a month or two before I end up realizing any sort of profits or cutting my losses or averaging. But lately it's just been one swing trade after another. So let's go to ISPC on the intraday and see how this kind of daily price action went. And actually keep that in mind, because knowing that swing trading has been well, maybe this is a ticker that if it actually ends up holding this kind of 8 area and we kind of really find some good support, pop back above VWAP, this could be a really good power hour run, or maybe a good after hours overnight play. Just something to keep in mind, because that's what we've been really seeing a lot lately. And the day trading has been tricky, at least for me personally. And I've been making a lot of mistakes too. So I know some of you guys in the Discord have just been absolutely nailing it, and I'm super stoked. It's just I don't know why I cannot get myself to hold these moves. Maybe it's all like the traveling or something like that, and different time zones, and just it throws me off a little bit. So ISPC popped up around here at 8 a.m. and then instantly, just like right away, 50% move, and I'm like, woohoo, this is looking good. I started looking at it on this first initial pullback, but I didn't jump on it, which is unfortunate because that was a 20% move. Anyway, we get a little bit of consolidation in this area. I wish I bought into it because it spiked here, another 15% pop. I ended up doing a little bit of breakout trading on it, but with very small size. Look at this: 100 shares, 200 shares, 400 shares, 200 shares, 363 shares, 300 shares, 100, 300, 800. So eventually I start sizing up once I realized, man, why am I trading this with such small size? This is a really good ticker. And you can see here, unfortunately on the 5 minute, I kind of wasn't really focused on this one. We had those, again, good little setups right around VWAP where we're kind of holding the highs. And like, for example, right around here at 840, that's somewhere in this area. You can see we're holding our highs very well. We got the 9 EMA, we got VWAP, everything coming together, volume kind of consolidating, and then this one really starts popping out here. Has one fake out, and then eventually has that continuation. So I really wish I was kind of sizing up in these lows. I could have been scalping a little bit. I'm just a little bit disappointed that, again, I was kind of buying the breakouts and then they would fail, and I didn't size up early enough into the pullback. So like all this trading here was just like constantly late to the action. It's not really that interesting to talk about. Eventually, more consolidation here. You can see on the 5 minute how we're kind of squeezing around this $10 zone, and then we eventually get that big pop to the upside. This was a nice, really a nice 22% pop. Again, I'm not on this big move, and it's just like bothering me. It's like, why am I not trading this? This is like exactly my trading strategy, yet I'm just fumbling one after another. So at this point, I'm buying the pullback here, looking for continuation. Of course, we don't get it. We get a little pop here. I try to buy the breakout, but no continuation again. And at this point, we're getting a little bit close to the market open, so I stopped trading ISPC. I forget if I'm red or green on this one. At this point, all these trades were like just pure scratches. I'm just like shaking my head like, wow, how did that happen? This ticker has, kind of a fake out here to the upside, flushes and gets halted to the downside, and then it opens up here, and then I'm just literally a hair too late here. I try to buy into this sell-off right after the halt opens up because I noticed the sell-off was a little bit slow, and I noticed on the 5 minute it was a really good setup. I just missed my limit order. This was a little frustrating because it, boom, 25% move. So again, me a little bit late to the party. But then I do something that I'm kind of happy about. Lately, I don't want to stop trading until like 10. So I want to do like a solid 9 till 10, like a good 3 hours of work. And at this point, I was like, this is a little bit too risky for me. I don't really like trading halts, but I don't also like just sitting on the sidelines and then having FOMO later. So what I wanted to do was I forced myself to trade this with small size. So even if it flushed down here, had a big loss, it would have not been that bad. So I just take a small size here, and I was able to wrap up some decent profits. It sells off a little bit. I get a little scalpy here. I think I do all right on ISPC though. And then eventually we get this huge long phase of consolidation. And I think that was, let's see, that was 10:07. Yeah, so that was right around here in this kind of weird phase. We're getting a lot of fake outs in both directions. And at this point, I was like, I feel like there's a good chance we're going to have a second base at VWAP, and then we're going to have that continuation. Because right now, we're still on like a 5 minute front side, but on a 1 minute range. So let me see if I can get a good risk-reward entry. And that's what I do. So I start buying here on VWAP. Unfortunately, it keeps on selling off, and I get a little bit uneasy. I'm almost thinking about cutting my losses instead of averaging down like I probably should have, because I still had a tiny size here. I'm not even remotely close to like my average size. I'm like, all this is just tiny sizes. So if you're coming into this channel new, I was trading with $25,000, and 3 weeks ago I had a really bad month, and I was like, I was just trading really sloppy. So I was like, okay, I got to start with smaller size again, get comfortable again. And I'm still kind of in that smaller size. So that's why sometimes I don't take profits quick enough right now, because I feel like, you know, my small size is so worthless that I'm not so focused on the P&L sometimes, and I'm just like, let's see what happens, which is good because I'm holding longer, but it's bad because I'm not taking my trading seriously. So I'm trying to size up again a little bit. Anyway, this one pops up here. I take some profits, and then I take some more profits. So about this move, I was totally on the money. I had the total right idea. My execution was a little bit off because the ticker sold off more than I was expecting. But this move from 1020 to all the way back up here was a 12% move. So this was a really, really nice profit here. Put ISPC a little bit back as my lead gainer on the day. Still very, very small profits because I'm trading very small size, and I was, you know, just constantly taking, you know, one step forward, one step back with ISPC. So it was kind of a frustrating day for me. But I was kind of happy that I let this one go, you know, see the light. I kind of saw that one through. And then later, I don't know, I just kind of stopped trading there. After 10 o'clock and after 10:30 for sure is definitely trading past my normal time. So I was pretty happy that I can wrap it up, you know, even over like $200, which is a very small green day. But after Friday's big red day, it's good to just, you know, take a little bit of a base hit and then kind of go from there. So I would love to see ISPC hold this area and maybe have a late day move. Since I'm in Utah right now, and I feel like I have so much time to do stuff after the trading day. I don't know. Maybe I'll trade this one again, but most likely not, because I think we're gonna do a hike later, and I don't think I'll be online. But if I was online, I think watching ISPC for some continuation later in the day could be really, really good. Especially, let's say, if this one doesn't have that continuation today, but we end up holding 880 anyway, this could be a big run tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye on ISPC if we hold the highs, because there's a good chance we'll see it again then tomorrow. Anyway, guys, that's all for this day trading recap. Short and sweet. Nothing too much to talk about. I hope tomorrow I start getting a little bit back more into a groove with my day trading. It's getting a little bit frustrating how I'm always just a little bit off. I feel like ever since we left Berlin, I just haven't really been able to edge into my trading style or strategy like I used to. So I really hope I can get that back. I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Subscribe if you're new, and like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.